strong institutions, all based on good governance, and more details, of course, on that particular story right there. And how Chadema plans to expend 350 million shillings paid in fines. Interesting story right there. And of course, a lot more covered on The Citizen. Make sure you're adequately informed. Over to Rwanda today. Let's just take a look at what's transpiring there. How my life turned upside down in the blink of an eye. One lady narrates her battle with a disease that has taken her to hospital in Nairobi and India in search of medication. And of course, the challenges around the healthcare system in Africa being highlighted right here. Rwanda today also covering a story where commuters are set to pay high fares as insurers have raised their premiums. And of course, that will have a net effect on the transport system in the country. Prices of eggs drop as supply to market rises. That's the latest in terms of the agriculture sector in Rwanda, even as Kigali city cleaners decry mere pay as COVID-19 cuts jobs. More details on that particular page. Over to CNN World News. Let's take a look at what's transpiring here. Sensitive UK defense documents reportedly found at bus stops. Some of the stories covered on CNN. But around the world, from Europe, Middle East and Africa, we have so much more highlighted. New video of Ethiopia massacre shows soldiers passing phone around to document their executions of unarmed men. Of course, a lot of eyes focused on Ethiopia with such reports surfacing. We'll definitely keep you updated. Czech president calls transgender people disgusting. Of course, that's meant to have a blowback, bearing in mind the time and age we live in. And of course, we'll definitely keep you updated. Some of the stories covered on CNN World News right there. Make sure you're adequately informed. But speaking of headlines, let's cross over to the local scene right now. I have with me Kenya's bold newspaper, The Standard. Just taking a look at the headline you should expect as you grab a copy in the morning. Not a day more, says ODM on Uhuru term. That's all to do with the election date, the 2022 election date, the second Tuesday of the month of August. Of course, it has been inscribed in the Constitution, but there has been talk about postponing this particular date. But no, can next year's polls be delayed to allow BBI proposals to pass? Well, yesterday, Raila's party said a big no to calls for extension of Uhuru's term, joining the deputy president and his allies in thrashing any plans to alter the calendar. That is the main story covered on Kenya's bold newspaper. Make sure you grab yourself a copy, even as we take a look at what happened during the Safari Rally weekend starting Thursday. Of course, a lot of eyes were on Naivasha. And President Uhuru Kenyatta did make his way yesterday there and presented the 2021 Kenya champion Sebastian Ogier with the winner's medal, where he also announced that Kenya would host this particular event, the Global Showpiece, every year for the next 5 years. So it's good news right there, even as Kenya joins the rest of the countries who hold this auspicious or host this auspicious event. We'll definitely get you updated on this and much more. But speaking of what transpired yesterday, let's just take a look at what President Uhuru Kenyatta announced on how Kenya will actually host the Safari Rally for the next 5 years until 2026. This coming as Sebastian emerged the winner by stretching his World Championship lead as curtains closed on this year's edition. Our very own Robinson Okenye witnessed the conclusion of the gruesome rally and filed this report. Take a look.
It was a weekend that pitted Kenya's top rally drivers against the best in the world in arguably the hardest and most challenging rally. Kenya's Onkarai and Drew Starrock did not shy away from the challenge as he finished top on WRC 3 and 7th on the Safari Rally standings, crossing in a time of 3 hours 47 minutes 37.7 seconds and finishing the day as the highest ranked Kenyan.
I think emotional weekends I've ever experienced. And to come away with the win and get WRC points, our name's there now in the news, in the history. Just thank everyone that's been behind us, and you know, this one is for my brother. He's recovering at the moment, and I'm sure this will lift his spirits as well.
Kenya's Karan Patel finished 8th on the Safari Rally standings and 2nd on WRC3, as Kyle Tundo finished 9th on Safari Rally and 3rd on WRC3.
I'm sure, as you can imagine, we're very, very happy to finish in the position we have, and we've worked hard for it, and the team has worked hard, and I think everyone's quite relieved that the car's done its job.
It's fantastic, with all the problems that we've had on Friday. To get to 9th is just a great achievement, and I'm so happy for Onka as well, coming 7th.
Despite finishing day 3 4th on the log, 7-time WRC champion Sebastian Ogier managed to recover on the final day, upsetting his competitors in 3 hours 18 minutes 11.3 seconds. In doing so, Ogier ensured that Team Toyota picked up from where they left 19 years ago, when Safari was in the WRC.
I think it's the attitude I always adopt, to never give up and give my best, whatever the conditions. And, after our issue on Friday morning, where we lost more than 2 minutes, we had to believe that things were possible, and that from this moment on, I pushed all the time and tried to come closer and closer every stages. And at the end, today we were in a fight for the podium, and it turned out to be a fight for the victory when Thierry retired. So
overnight leader Thierry Neuville had a day to forget, as he had to retire in the morning. Toyota's Takamoto Kasuta finished 2nd despite leading the first session of the day, as Hyundai's Otana completed the podium position.
I didn't expect I can be on the podium this rally, because I thought this rally will be very, very difficult and survival rally, but I am here, so I'm very happy.
President Uhuru Kenyatta weighed in on Kenya's successful hosting of the Safari Rally.
The world has also witnessed Kenya's preparedness to stage and host world-class events, as well as our commitment to maintain our position as one of the world's top sporting destinations. It therefore gives me great pleasure to announce today that we have agreed with the International Automobile Federation, as well as the World Rally Championship, to continue hosting the Safari Rally in Kenya every year until the year 2026.
Sebastian Ogier leads the World Rally Championship, followed by Alfred Evans, while Thierry Neuville is 3rd. It was a weekend that promised excitement and adrenaline-pumping rallying action, and sure, it did live to the billing. And as Sebastian Ogier walks away as the winner of the first Safari Rally in 19 years, Kenyans will be looking forward to see even more rallying action in the country. For the local rally drivers, action adds to Eldoret in KNRC Championship, while for the international drivers, it's all in Estonia. Robinson Okenye, KTN Sports in Naivasha.
Well, so we'll be hosting that particular event annually till 2026. Allow me to introduce my guest in studio, Joseph Kioko, political analyst. I know your realm is politics, but come on, I'm sure you're a car enthusiast. Good morning.
Morning, Jesse. Yes. The realm is politics, but we also understand what is happening in Kenya.
Exactly.
Yes.
So let's talk about what happened in Naivasha specifically. Good news, of course, the president mentioning we'll be hosting this, but the scenes that characterized Naivasha, of course, the gridlock. Let's start right there. Well, what say you about the disadvantaged drivers on the busy Nakuru-Nairobi highway? Were you part of them, perhaps?
No, I wasn't part of them.
Yeah.
And thank you, Jesse, for hosting us this cold Monday morning, and also wishing fellow Kenyans a fruitful week. And we thank God for having taken care of us in the entire month of June. Mm-hmm. And we look forward to a fruitful month of July as it comes about. I think we need to look more on the positives of what happened. I think it was a very glorious occasion. The last 4 days, there's been a lot of hype, a lot of enjoyment. Those of us who grew up knowing Safari Rally for what it was, there was excitement. It was the talk in town. Everybody was talking about Safari Rally. So it's a very beautiful story in part of the successes that you might call of the Jubilee government. Of course, there were small hiccups, the traffic snarl-ups, guys who were making late plans to travel to Naivasha. They got caught up in traffic going up there. But that is what is expected. I think also what happened is the strain of curfew the strain of these containment measures of COVID, people were looking for a way to relieve that anxiety, a place where they can go and have a carefree attitude, if I might call it, so that they relax a little bit from all the tension that this country has been going through. So it was really a relieving moment, and kudos to the organizers. I think they did well, and they presented the best foot forward for Kenyans.
Exactly. It seems the rally has not lost its shine at all after 19 years break. So good news right there for Kenya, even as we'll be hosting that particular event annually till 2026. Of course, page 4 of The Standard has gone big with this particular story, the sights, the sounds, and the winners during that particular rally, which the spirit was actually quite on a high. Definitely, that's not the only story that has been covered on the papers. Let's go to the main story, Kyoko. And of course, it's a little bit your forte, all to do with politics and the 2022 election date. On page 6, Raila Ruto allies speak in one voice on calls to postpone the polls. That's the big thing right now. And of course, Kyoko, were you even surprised that ODM actually joined the bandwagon by DP Ruto to say no extension of the timelines? What say you?
I think it is not, one cannot say that it wasn't anticipated for ODM to say that. But the question is the timing.
Okay.
The moment this suggestion was brought forth, and we who understand the politics that the political brand that Honorable Raila Odinga has carried throughout, is that any attempt to alter or touch the Constitution or to bring in amendments that seek to oppress the ordinary person, Honorable Raila has always been on the forefront of suggesting